Hey guys, if you're looking for your next graphics card in your future PC or your next PC, here you go. Here's the video for you. So, in this video, I'm going to have 4 different categories. A $100 range, $200 range, $300 range, and $400 range. Now, each of the categories, we're going to have one AMD GPU and one NVIDIA GPU. Except for one of them having both NVIDIA GPUs. So let's go to that now. So, by the lighting, I'm sure you can guess what GPU this is. Now, basically, NVIDIA of course. So, first graphics card for today, GTX 970. Now, this is the $100 range. Now, the price I found for these on Facebook Marketplace was actually pretty good. So you can get a GTX 970 4GB, which is how much it comes in, for $50, $60, $80. And I'll show you guys right here, 50, 60, and 80. You guys can look at that, take that in. Yeah. Now, GTX 970, it's probably good for like 1080p mid to high gaming, maybe probably mid because it's only got 4GB of VRAM, which is not a lot in 2023. But if you're a casual light gamer, this will be good for you. Yeah, pair it with like a low i3, low i5, and you'd be good. Okay, now, so it's red now, huh? Like Christmas. So basically, the next graphics card is the RX 580, not 4GB, but the 8GB. So already you can see AMD has the upper hand here. You know, you've got a card with double the VRAM. You know, you've gone from a 4GB card to an 8GB card. Now the RX 580 8GB, you know, it does cost a bit more than the GTX 970. It costs about $81, $86, $95. Now this is on AliExpress, not on Facebook Marketplace. So on AliExpress, now you guys might not like AliExpress, you might not trust it, but I have bought 3 to 4 graphics cards from there so far. And I sold them in PCs and stuff, and I have not had an issue. Just buy from sellers that have good ratings, and you'll be completely fine. We'll read the reviews, and you'll be fine. And I can promise you guys that from my personal experience. Now, RX 580, better card. I mean, not only do you have double the VRAM, like, you know, this card, it'll be good for 1080p high gaming on most games. Some games maybe medium, but it'll, with that extra 4 gigs of VRAM, it'll just smash the GTX 970. So, yeah. Move on to the $200 range. So, onto the $200 range, right? Now, these cards, they're a lot more powerful. Like, it's crazy how much better these cards are. Like, the value going from, you know, 80, I mean, we had, yeah. Now, the first card is the GTX 1070. Now, I love this GPU, personally. I actually own one 5 months ago. So, I use the daily driver. It's a good card. The only reason I got rid of it is because I got a new card for free and I just kind of use that now. Now the GTX 1070, it has 8GB of VRAM, so it's just a great card. Now you can buy them from many places, but there's 2 places I have with the best value: eBay and CEX. Now CEX is a store in Sydney. I think it's all over Australia. You can find it everywhere, and you can also ship stuff for, I think, free or even really cheap. So it's really good, and it's an Australian business, so it's trusted and everything, and they sell refurbished products. So it's all refurbished. Now the GTX 1070, you got 8GB of VRAM. Now you can get one on eBay for $175 to $185. Now from CEX, you can get one for $160, which is a lot cheaper. So if you're open to buying from CEX, which I'll have right here. Here you go. So you got CEX right here, and you got the 2 eBay cards right here. So yep. And now let's move on to the other NVIDIA card, because the $200 range is just, NVIDIA just dominates the $200 range. So the next card we have is the GTX 1660 Ti. Now the GTX 1660 Ti, it is slightly better than 1070, and I mean slightly. Like the FPS here that I'm talking is like 1 to 2 FPS. So you might be asking, well, how much does it cost compared to the 1070, right? So it is, you can get it for $199 to like $179, and this is on eBay. So you can get it for about $19 more than the 1070. So they're within $20 of each other, depending where you buy it from. So it costs a bit more than 1070, and it gets like 1 to 2 more FPS. So you might be thinking it's not worth the money, but it does have, it is a newer card. So you have to keep that in mind. It is 3 years newer, I'm pretty sure, than the 1070, but it only has 6GB of VRAM. So keep that in mind. So I would go with 1070 personally, but if you want the newer GPU, go with the 1660 Ti. Okay guys, so the first GPU we have in the $300 range is the RTX 2060 Super. So RTX 2060 Super, you've got 8GB of VRAM, and you've even got the RTX features on it, which you might not use. Fair enough, I don't use mine personally, but yeah. So you can get an RTX 2060 Super for about $249 to $259, and you can get all the multiple cards at that price on eBay. Maybe you can get it from other places, Facebook Marketplace locally, but from what I've seen, eBay had good deals and you can ship it. So that's why I chose eBay for this video, because it's better for you guys because of eBay. You can ship it all over Australia. Now for $249, it's a good card. I would definitely consider it. And yeah. Here are the photos of the three cards: $249, $259, $259. So take a look at that. Okay, finally back to AMD. So much green, haven't seen red in a while. Now the RX 6600. Now I have personally owned one of these cards. I didn't like it because I went from a 1070 to an RX 6600. Now I didn't like it because it was too much power for me, and that's crazy considering it's a mid-end card. But that's my personal opinion. But it's still a great budget card, and the drivers are better than what they were from my experience. And yeah, I've got friends that own it, and yeah, it's a good card. Now the RX 6600, you're working with 8GB of VRAM, so it's the exact same as the 2060 Super. So it's like the competitor for it. Except the RX 6600, instead of buying the 2060 Super, you may as well get the RX 6600 because it's a whole generation newer. Now the 2060 Super is better, so that's a big thing behind it. Now an RX 6600, that'll set you back $240, $249 to $250. So you can get them. So a 2060 Super and an RX 6600, they are the exact same price, basically. I would go with the 2060 Super. It's a couple years older, but you got RTX and you got Nvidia cards, drivers are more stable. And yeah, it's just more FPS. So yeah, I'd go with the 2060 Super. But they're both good cards. If you like AMD, go with the AMD one. Okay, now onto the big boys, the $400 range. Now the $400 range, these aren't crazy good cards. Like, we're not talking about 4090s or anything. They cost, $2,000. So a bit of a rip off, in my opinion. Really, it's too much money for anyone really to spend on a graphics card. But anyway, so the first card we have here is the RTX 3060 Ti. So before we looked at the 2060 Super, now we're looking at the 3060 Ti, which is a whole lot better. So 2060 Ti, it's got 8GB of VRAM. So as you can see, the VRAM, it has improved. Like, if you guys remember, the $100 range had an RX 580 with 8GB. So since that $100 range, we have not gone up in VRAM, and that's just how the GPU market is, and it is slowly changing nowadays. But you'll see that in the future when I make future videos. So the 3060 Ti, you can find one on eBay. Now I know the limit for this range is $400. I found one card for $350. I found a bunch of cards, like 20 or 30, it's like from the same guy, for $399, and I still found one for $400. So it is like cutting the limit here. If you can get that card for $350 right here, I'll show you guys on eBay. That's a good deal. Now the other two, $399, $400. This guy sells a bunch of them, small card, but that's alright. And the other one, well, $400 plus shipping, but they're good deals. Now for the final card of the video, one of my personal favorites, and it's got a good reputation, the RX 6700. Now this card, it just smashes anything on this list. I mean, yeah, compared to a 3060 Ti, it doesn't completely destroy it, but let me be clear with you guys. The RX 6700, it beats 3060 Ti at a better price, yeah, right? So why not get it, right? So I could not find the RX 6700. It is a hard GPU to find. Now that is because the XT version of that card, which is way better, like the XT it costs like in that $500 range, so I didn't include in the video. But if you get the non-XT RX 6700, you can get it for $385 at CEX, and they sell two of them or more. I think you can buy two per car. It's limited. Now if you can get one of those for $385, it's a good deal. Now keep in mind, the RX 6700 has 10GB of VRAM, so it is the only card on this list at $400 or less than $400 that comes with 10GB of VRAM. So you can get a card that's 10 gigabytes of VRAM at $385, or you can get a card that costs $400 for 8 gigabytes. It's a really good buy. And if you have the extra money, I would say get the XE version, but that is not in the range of this video. So yeah, keep that in mind.